Hey guys, welcome to my movie vlog. My name's John KB, and this is the movie news feed, getting you caught up in just a couple of minutes on everything important going on in the world of movie news. Make sure you check out the John KB Show a little bit later as we go more in depth into some of these topics, but for now, let's get to the movie news feed. First up, the initial tracking numbers for the upcoming Avengers Infinity War film have been released, and they are huge. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Disney insiders are projecting for a $175 to $200 million opening weekend, while other industry sources are putting it at $200 million or a little bit higher. Even in the most conservative estimates from Disney of $175 million, it would still be an historical hit, as only 7 films in history have ever opened to $175 million or higher. The first Avengers movie at $207 million, Black Panther at $202 million, Avengers Age of Ultron at $191 million, Captain America Civil War at $179 million, Star Wars The Force Awakens at $248 million, also the #1 domestic opening box office of all time, Star Wars The Last Jedi at $220 million, and Universal's Jurassic World, which opened to $208 million. It's fair to say this is going to be one of the biggest movies of all time. And let's keep in mind, as we get closer to the movie opening, these numbers could even go up, but even if they don't, it's still going to be one of the biggest movies ever. Next up, as most of you know by now, Amazon is launching a Lord of the Rings television series. Now, new details are starting to emerge that include the fact that Amazon has committed to no less than 5 seasons of the show, and the estimated budget could come in around the $1 billion mark. Other interesting notes include the fact that the series, while technically a prequel series to the events of the book The Fellowship of the Ring, could include some material from the Lord of the Rings movies. And on top of all that, it is also being reported that Peter Jackson himself is having some discussions about coming on board the project in a producer role. As reported at Slash Film, Jackson's attorney helped start a dialogue between Peter Jackson and Amazon, and the ball's in the filmmaker's court as to whether or not he wants to be a part of the show. If Peter Jackson does come on board, it wouldn't be outside the realm of possibility to imagine him directing at least a few episodes. Look, Amazon and every streaming service wants their own Game of Thrones type show, and it's clear that Amazon really believes that Lord of the Rings is it, and they are going all in on it. Next up, Solo: A Star Wars Story, what a stupid name, it should just be called Star Wars Solo anyway, is set to hit theaters on May 25th. However, we have just learned when the film will have its world premiere. According to Deadline, Solo will have a surprise debut at one of the most celebrated film festivals in the world, the Cannes Film Festival. From Deadline, sources said that the Lucasfilm origin story will premiere at a special screening on May 15th, before the picture makes its global premiere date of May 25th. The Ron Howard-directed origin story stars Alden Ehrenreich as a young Han Solo, the role made famous, of course, by Harrison Ford. Donald Glover plays Lando Calrissian, and Game of Thrones star Emilia Clarke, Woody Harrelson, Paul Bettany, and Thandie Newton will also star in the film. So I guess if you're a major Star Wars fan and want to see this movie first, start buying your airline tickets for France. Next, the graphic novel series Y: The Last Man has spent years trying to get a feature film off the ground. At one point, even director DJ Caruso and actor Shia LaBeouf were both attached to helm and star in the film, but that ultimately went nowhere. However, it looks like the series is now heading to television. According to Variety, FX has ordered a pilot based on the comic book series. Exploring gender, race, class, and survival, Y: The Last Man is a post-apocalyptic science fiction story that takes place in a world in which all men, except one, are dead. Beginning in 2002, the comic book series by Brian K. Vaughan and Pia Guerrera, and published by DC Comics, ran for 60 issues. It received 3 Eisner Awards, the top honor in the comic book industry, as well as the first Hugo Award for Best Graphic Story. And why not? I mean, Brian K. Vaughan just had one of his other titles make a successful transition to TV in The Runaways for Hulu. And finally, it's being reported that actor Jake Gyllenhaal will both produce and star in the upcoming Focus Features thriller project, Welcome to Vienna. According to the tracking board, Gyllenhaal will play Freddie Macon, a civilian surveillance contractor in Vienna who has been watching a Chinese academic named Jiang Cheng for the past year. When Freddie interrupts a break-in at his apartment, the intruder escapes, only to return to try and kill him later. Now Freddie has to figure out who is trying to kill him and why, all while he tries to hide the past that he's been running away from. Jake Gyllenhaal's just kind of proved himself to be one of the best actors of the world, and if he's on board, I'm on board. And that'll do it for today's installment of the Movie News Feed.